Hi, I'm Chris Tiller. I'm with Restline Sotheby's Realty. I just wanted to make a quick video to introduce you to myself as well as the relocation and BMA process. If you're getting this, it's probably because you just received confirmation that you're being relocated. So congratulations. It's usually a step up in the business. So it's always an exciting time, very hectic and busy. So I just wanted to kind of, again, send a quick little introductory video to talk to you about how this process is going to go from the real estate side. So originally, you're going to be assigned 2 agents. I am one of those agents. So we're going to have what's called a BMA, the Broker's Market Analysis. So these 2 agents are going to come in. We don't know each other, and you get the opportunity to pick from one of us that you think you would be a best fit with to help sell your house. So we're going to schedule the BMA, obviously at your house, what's convenient to you, and working around your schedule, because I know it's going to be a busy time. And that's a really introductory. I get to see your house, take a couple of quick little pictures. But again, this is introductory. So do's and don'ts. Do not have to clean the house. You don't have to do anything crazy. Don't hide the kids. Don't get out. Don't kick the family out. Don't put the dog in boarding. Anything like that. I see through all of this. I do a ton of relocation, so I know of what's going on in your life right now. And it's just, again, I see through everything, and it's a good conversation piece just to start. So one of the things that we're going to be talking about is your package specifically. So there's a bunch of different relocation packages that are out there. There's no better or worse. It just depends on yours specifically. So some have home buyout options, some have sale bonuses, some are only good for a year, some 6 months. So it's going to be important to kind of know that going in if possible, so that we can kind of discuss our timeline and plan. Through that, once we submit all of that in, I have approximately 48 hours to get my side submitted. We cannot discuss value at the time of our appointment. So that's part of our agreement with relocation. So I can have an understanding based on your opinion to me on what you think your house is worth. But once I go back to the office and run the comps, that's when I'll submit my opinion. It's very difficult in an original appointment to come up with value. I've never seen the house before, so I can't possibly compare all of these comps to a house I've never seen. So it does take a little time, so I can kind of understand the justification. But that's kind of what we'll be going over. I'll also be discussing, my marketing strategy, things like that. So from a relocation perspective, once you decide which agent you're going to work with, and I hope that that's me, then we'll come up with our plan. The first thing will be scheduling our photos. So I'll come out for the photos. I'm always there for these appointments, so there's no uncomfortableness with someone you've never met before. It's the same listing photography company that I've used forever. They're fantastic. I always get there early because I kind of know what they're looking for. I try to get the house set up in the process that we need. I'm also going to have all the paperwork with me at that time, so we can kind of go over what you need to sign, what you don't sign, and all of the intricacies that go behind the relocation, because it's in depth. Then we're going to kind of walk through kind of what getting the offers process looks like. If they haven't told you already, more than likely you aren't going to be able to sign any of these documents. A lot of these relocation packages are what we call a dual close. So they're actually going to be buying the house from you prior to you selling it to the buyer who we showed your house. So you lose the benefits if you sign the contract. So it sounds remedial, but it has to be done a very, very specific way. I'm extremely comfortable with this. I've been doing relocation for like 10 plus years. So I know the ins and outs of all the major companies and all the intricacies that each one has. The big one is repairs. So negotiating repairs is going to be interesting. So depending on your relocation, you may be in the house, you may not. You may have already left to go to the new city, depending on your report date or whatever they've assigned to you. So it's going to be really important that you feel comfortable in this relocation process with your agent about repairs. Because you're not around, it will be difficult to understand when you get a inspection report back to understand why they're asking or why they've highlighted so many things that you've never noticed before. One example I'll give you is a Gfci outlet in the kitchen. So new code is that all Gfci outlets in the kitchen basically, or all outlets in the kitchen need to be Gfci protected. That wasn't always the case 10 years ago. So if you have a house that was built before, let's just pick a date, 2008, not all of those outlets will be Gfci protected, only ones that are close to water. So if an inspector comes in and says, I'm not an electrician, current code is that it needs to be Gfci protected, you should have an electrician come out. And then if you have an electrician that comes out and during the inspection they say, I'm going to rewire this to make it Gfci, we got to go all the way back to the sub panel, and it's going to be $1,800 to rewire this kitchen. Well, if you don't have an agent who understands, for instance, Gfci protection, they don't quite understand that it's a $25 part from a general handyman, and it can be done very quickly, easily within 15 minutes. There's a lot of intricacies that come apart with the repair process, so it's just feeling comfortable with your agent that if for some reason you're not there or not comfortable with it, that you have someone that can go to bat for you and understands that process. I've flipped homes. I've been doing this a very long time. I have a very good, solid construction background, so I know all of the intricacies of that. So the other issue is the dual close. So I kind of mentioned it a little bit before, but the dual close is that the relocation company isn't going to buy that house from you until certain things are met. So we have to get through, typically we have to get through the inspection process and the appraisal process. So they don't want to obviously commit to a buyer to buying a house and taking it off your hands if the inspection goes bad or the appraisal comes back bad, because then that commits them to owning the house for a buyer who might fall out. And they're not in the business of owning real estate. They're just in the business of helping with the relocation. So they want to make sure that it's going to go through the process. Once you're through inspections and appraisals, it's a very, very slim chance that it's going to fall out. And so that's a big part of it, is making sure that we get to the point where the relocation company has committed to buying the transaction or buying the house from you. The reason that's important for relocation specifically is that you need to initiate that transaction to access your equity. So if they've committed to buying your house, that's when you can basically make a non-contingent offer purchase on a home wherever you end up. So if you're buying right away, you're going to need, most people are going to need a portion of, or not all, the equity from the sale of that house in order to make your next purchase. So it's extremely important that you get to that process, or get to that point in the process. And that's one of the relocation balances that I have to help weigh through this process. So just feel comfortable that you understand that your agent needs to have a really good handle on all aspects of this. It's a unique process. Even just handling it from the buyer's side, most agents have never dealt with this before. There's a lot of paperwork they're unfamiliar with, and battling that, negotiating that, and making everyone feel comfortable in it, and then managing it is a whole different beast. So just feel comfortable with it. Come up with all the questions that you possibly can. Hopefully I can answer those in our BMA appointment, but if not, you can always respond. Even if you don't choose me, I will help out as much as I possibly can, because I'm in the business of referrals. So if it doesn't work out with me, but you think my personality might work with someone else, that's what I'm here for. So any questions you might have, please feel free to reach out. And again, congratulations on the relocation, and hopefully we get a chance to work together.